Hi, I'm Sarah, one of the coaches here at Dumpling. Today, I'm joined by Coach Ashley and one of our successful business owners, Chuck Elliott of CBE Concierge Service in the Grand Rapids metro area. Chuck started his dumpling business in January 2022 and has served over 200 clients within the platform. Today, we're going to be chatting with Chuck about his business and how he's gotten to where he is today. So, hey, Chuck, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, girls. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Would you mind giving us some information on kind of where you started prior to finding Dumpling and what made you want to start your own business?
Yeah, I had originally worked with Shipt for over 4 years and was one of their top shoppers in the country. I did over 8,000 orders in 4 years and wasn't really comfortable with the way the new leadership there was taking the company. So I decided, along with talking with my wife about this, but we decided that we were going to leave Shipt and start our own company. And I did a lot of research. I mean, I checked out, Instacart, Dumpling, just to name a couple, but I really loved the fact that Dumpling had a great platform to offer. They had several stores to offer, not only, my clients, but the extended area that I could handle. Also, I liked the corporate help that I needed. I mean, not only did I find a lot of information about you guys online, but I was able to call Dumpling. And Sarah, I think I did talk to you about this. I don't remember this. This has been like a year ago, but I talked to somebody live and they answered my questions for me. And my wife and I, we felt very comfortable with the platform that Dumpling offered. And so we decided to bring some of our customers with us to Dumpling and started, at that time, CBE delivery service, and then moved on to CBE Concierge.
I love that. How has your experience with Shipt, or even any work experience before that, kind of shaped how you've built your dumpling business?
It taught me a lot about time management, learning the stores prior to actually shopping the stores. Also, though, helped me phenomenally with customer relationships. I come from a sales and marketing background. I do have an MBA, and for over 30 years, I've focused on building relationships with my customers. They're not, to me, they're not numbers. They are friends. They're and a lot of them have become family members for Dawn and I. I strive to do my best because I'm their eyes and ears in the store when shopping their orders for them. So they trust me and I trust them. And that just builds a great bond with my clientele.
I think that's so important. And it's something that, like you said, you can't get with, other gigs or really anywhere else. It's so hard to build that relationship. So that's awesome to hear. And kind of going into the next question of what do you like most about having your own business in comparison, to working for Shipt?
The flexibility. My customers can set their appointments whenever they want. If I need time off for a family event or something personal going on or business that's going on, my customers know that, and understand and are able to work with me so that I'm able to take care of them when needed and they're able to take care of me when I need it. Because we all know that you can't just work 24/7. You need time off to recharge your batteries. Another thing is the fact that my customers are extremely loyal. They know that I'm going to be shopping their orders for them, not a random person as with other shopping gigs. And the fact that because I know them and they trust me, I know their orders pretty much like the back of my hand. For most of my clientele, I have a majority of what they order memorized. So if I see something missing, I'll shoot them a text saying, hey, I don't see these breakfast sausages on your order this week. Do we need them? And they'll come back and say, no, we're good. Or, oh my gosh, I forgot. Thank you so much, Chuck, for remembering. Because they're not going to get that with other shopping platforms.
Yeah. I'm glad that you said that because one of the things that we hear a lot, right, is that for customers that transitioned, it's also kind of an aha moment for them. They also have a different experience. And obviously getting you every time and knowing that they're going to get that is a big factor. Has there been any other feedback from customers about how it's been different for them and kind of improved their life?
Oh, I could go on for days about this, on how much of an improvement it is. Not only are they saving more money by using me as their personal shopper with CBE Concierge, but the variety of stores that are available to them now. They were limited in our area with Shipt and Instacart with only having a finite number of stores. I'm able to offer over 20 different stores to my clientele, and they absolutely love it. I mean, I am making trips to Costco and Aldi and Meijer, Walmart. I mean, I could go on and on. I even made a run the other week to Home Depot for a customer. So yeah, the fact that they have a plethora of stores that they can shop out of, the ability that they can actually book their appointments days in advance, and again, the confidence that they're always going to have me as their shopper.
Exactly. You're kind of like
and
that.
saving money, like I said.
Exactly. You're like that one-stop shop almost, right? Why go to multiple people when you can have one person do it all for you?
Exactly.
So have you found any challenges within your business? And if so, how did you overcome them?
The challenges, yeah, there's a few. One was learning all of these new stores and just repetition. The more orders you get from these stores, the more comfortable you become in shopping from these different stores. Another thing is a limited catalog, and this isn't Dumpling's fault. Every shopping gig out there cannot carry 100% of the retailer's inventory catalog. So a lot of my customers and I, we've come up with various ways for them to create their shopping list and get it to me and get it into Dumpling. One of the things that a lot of my customers like is the fact that Dumpling doesn't charge their customers based on the order list, so they know they're going to be charged based on the total. So if we have an issue or an obstacle, I should say, where we can't find the exact items in the Dumpling catalog, they know that they can send me a custom list or a custom item on their order, and I'm gonna be able to grab that for them and build it from there, and they're going to be charged what's on their store receipt, which is also another big factor that my customers love, is the fact that they actually see the receipt of what they're paying for. They know my fees, but they get the actual store receipt so they can see the savings that they're getting. And that's one thing that you can't get from other shopping gigs. So if something's a BOGO, I can let my customers know about it. Or if it's, buy two, get this one free or whatever. My customers love that, that they get that with my company.
Yeah, I love that. I think, and this is kind of a two-part question here. I know you recently added concierge to your business, so quite a few other services. But even prior to that, customers were very happy to follow you over. There was something shopping with you that really put them at ease. I know you've mentioned that customer service mindset. What else do you think it is that really sets you apart from these other gigs or other businesses?
Is my attention to detail. I'm very OCD when I'm shopping for my customers. I have an outgoing personality. I love talking to people, and I love doing crazy things. I mean, as you girls have seen, over various holidays, I have different crazy snazzy suits that I like to wear. And it's the things that set me apart from the other shoppers. And once I am able to get my foot in the door with that, or with my personality, the customers are able to actually see over time, who I am, how well of a shopper I am, how much of attention I pay to them, and communication. I am a strict believer in communicating everything to my customers. When I was working with Shipt and still working with CBE Concierge.
So
did I answer both parts?
Yes.
Okay. Y chromosome, you got to remember that, girls. I try, and I'm old, so.
You are good. So you kind of, obviously we know a little bit more about your business than most people. So within your business, you have kind of impacted your community. How have you kind of seen that come about? We had just recently heard about the local kind of Dancing with the Stars charity event.
Yes.
Touch on that for us.
Yeah, back in October, in my local community of Greenville, Michigan, we have our Dancing with the Local Stars, and this is a phenomenal charity in which we raise money that help the Education Foundation of Greenville, which promotes mental health awareness and mental health counseling for all of the kids attending the school system in Greenville. So back in October, I was asked to be a member of this, and I accepted because I thought this would be fun. It'd be something crazy, something interesting to do. And I can't dance at all. I mean, my wife laughs at me when I even try to dance. But I've been working with a pro for the last 2 months, and the event is actually going to be on April 15th. And we have several rehearsals left, but we are excited about the event itself. About how it's going to bring awareness to the community for the Greenville Education Foundation. And yeah, it's going to be a hoot. I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard it yet or not, but my song is going to be Shivers by Ed Sheeran. And my wife, who buys all of my crazy outfits, went and bought me the exact same suit that Ed wears in the video. So yeah, and so yeah, we're tying it in, and hopefully someone will take a video of it and I'll share it with you girls.
Oh, please do. Please.
Okay.
I would love to see that. Oh my goodness.
It's so fun to see when people get started with dumplings. Sometimes, it's just a personal shopping business, right? It's so simple, but there are people like you who just go into stores and they talk to every person in that store, and they treat every customer like gold. And the word of mouth around that, you can't contain word of mouth like that, right? It just...
No, exactly. And I don't mean to interrupt you, I apologize, but word of mouth is so important with running your own business. A trend that I started back from Shipt, and I carried it over with when I started CBE Concierge, is with my main local store in Greenville, I will periodically buy them cake. And I mean, I go to their bakery department, so I keep the money local within their business, but I'll buy 3 half sheets of cake, and they decorate it however they want. I tell them go nuts, and and that's for each, one cake takes care of each shift. And when COVID was going on and we couldn't do cake, I went with a local bakery and would bring in dozens and dozens. I mean, the order was 16 dozen donuts, and I got it every other month for the entire staff for everything they did. And it's not only thanking them for the work they do to help us out, but it also, it builds that bond. And these employees go and tell people, oh, Chuck got us this, Chuck helped out with this. And it just builds the business up by planting the seed in other avenues.
Yeah. And that's working in a grocery store can have some really hard days, right? On our end and the other end. And having something to brighten their day, that's something that makes people feel good. And if people feel good, they're going to keep talking about it. And so that's just a great example of kind of the general marketing of your business. It's about making people feel, they understand it, they get it, they're comfortable, they have trust. And I love that is now transitioned into just this community, this guy with these silly suits. It's now kind of like local celebrity, right? But in a way that's such a good feeling. It's not leaving any sort of negative feelings with anybody. And even for people who don't order, they're going to know you exist when they do need something. So,
They do.
Awesome. Within that, have you found that any other sort of marketing has been really impactful for your business?
I do a lot with social media. I'm not a big Twitter fan, but I do a ton of posts on my Facebook business page, and then I'll cross promote with Instagram as well. And then my wife and I, we do a series of TikTok videos on occasion, whether it's me grilling something or a recipe or her. She's notorious for being the world's meanest wife because she likes to scare me. She likes to jump out and of some corner or whatever And that's how we got most of our following on TikTok. But the thing is, it gets the name out there though, and people recognize us for that.
Cool. Was there anything that kind of made you more comfortable to use social media, especially like in the beginning? For a lot of people, it can be really just overwhelming, and you're sometimes on video. So anything that you did that really kind of helped you feel more comfortable doing all of that?
It was very overwhelming. I'll tell you that right off the bat, because I wasn't used to promoting my own business on an almost daily basis. I did a lot of research online. I talked to another fellow dumpling business owner, Jennifer Slack. She has been just a godsend with marketing ideas for me, and with things to post on social media. I talked to friends of mine, and I talked to customers. I was like, "Hey, what do you want to see? What are you looking for?" So yeah, I've really gotten out of my shell, out of my comfort zone, to when it comes to self-promoting. I'm so used to promoting other products, for other companies, that me trying to promote myself was a little bit different. But my wife Dawn was phenomenal. I mean, yeah, I love that word phenomenal, by the way. But she was perfect in helping me be my cheerleader and my critic when it came to marketing the business.
It's awesome. You've done a really good job about presenting yourself as an sort of a food expert on your social media. I've even loved videos where you've talked about like cutting pineapples and things like that. Things that are just kind of educational for people who are having food coming to their house. I know you do a lot on your guys' social media accounts. Do you also do quite a bit in local Facebook groups? And if so, what does that look like?
I'll cross promote with my local community groups. Here, in Grand Rapids, I am part of 5 or 6 different community groups, and because of their rules, you can't promote all the time. So I actually have a schedule set up to where on Monday we're going to be promoting just the page. All right, on Tuesday we're going to be promoting the page and Greenville and Rockford, and then Wednesday we're going to do Greenville, Cedar Springs, and Plainfield. I bounce it around to where I'm getting each community page at least once a week. And that way I'm able to get my business and my name out there more with the services that we have to offer. I hope that helps your question. Okay.
Since you've joined us, has there been any additions on the dumpling end that have been helpful for you? Like any app features or changes in that sense?
I've seen a lot of growth within the app in the 14 months that I've been with Dumpling. Some of the growth has, it hasn't been as fast as what we like to see, but also we know that you can't just plant a seed and have a tree the next day. You've got to be patient and nurture it. If I were to pick out features within the app that I truly enjoy, I do like the fact that I'm seeing more retail catalogs becoming available, and I see them expanding more. Those have always been very helpful. As far as the owner's side of the business, I absolutely love the fact that we can, if Dawn and I are going to take like a long weekend, I can go in there and say, okay, we're closed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that'll be posted and my customers can see that ahead of time. I also like the fact that we can black out certain hours during the day as needed as well. But yeah, those are for the most part the biggest ones I like. I mean, and there's a lot of features I would love to see added or even updated, but again, I know it's a slow growth, and we're getting there, based on the resources that we have available.
Awesome. So you've been to a few office hours. Has there been kind of takeaways from them when you joined?
Yeah, the spontaneity, the questions that I've seen other DBOs ask, and I'm like, oh yeah, I never thought of that. That's a good question. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm reminiscing on the Valentine's Day scavenger hunt where I joined office hours that day because I actually had a question, and then and I was going to say, but then I'm driving, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, it's a scavenger hunt. It's like, okay, so and you girls are saying, find something red, okay, and taking my card, so but yeah, no, there's a lot of positives. There's a lot of positive things I like about office hours. It's not just the fact that we can get one-on-one time with you girls to ask questions that we have, but the thing is that we can actually see other dumpling business owners from around the country. I mean, that's how I met Antoine. That's how I met Karen. And I've met other newer dumpling business owners who I brought on board. I've always chatted with them on Facebook, and I actually get to put a name to the face. I mean, that's how Jennifer and I first met. So yeah, I think office hours is brilliant. I think, don't ever let it go away. And I do love also, I like the fact that I haven't been able to take a full advantage of it, but the fact that, because you girls are in Washington and us here in Michigan, we're at Eastern time. So we have a 3-hour time difference, but you guys have been able to accommodate us so that we're able to get in more often, which is just wonderful.
Yeah, so I'll kind of touch on that for anyone who's watching who's not aware. So Dumpling you're okay. I'll just kind of explain in case anyone's playing catch up. So Dumpling is dual headquartered in San Francisco and Seattle, where most of our staff is kind of in that line, but we do have a couple people spread throughout different time zones now as well, all the way to Sarah in New York. So a couple sprinkled throughout there, and that's how we're able to do those longer SOS hours to kind of accompany, before we wake up on the West Coast, there's someone on SOS. And once people on the East Coast are just done with the day, those of us on the West Coast can continue that. So that's been something that has been really helpful for us. But it's also been interesting trying to learn how to do office hours with people anywhere from Hawaii to Florida, right? And how are we going to get in our work schedule where we overlap, but also encompass everyone else? And so it's been a learning curve over the last couple of years, and it helps to have people give us feedback on this would work, this would be helpful for me. And so anytime we get that, we kind of look at it and can we implement that? How? So I appreciate you always being willing to say, hey, what about this? What about that? To anyone who doesn't know, Dumpling is a very small team. And while we can't implement every single thing, we at least read it and we acknowledge it and we go through it. And that was something when I started here, before I worked here, when I was just a normal business owner, that was really appealing to me after dealing with really awful support on other apps where no one gave you the same answer, no one forwarded a concern to actually have someone read it. That was like in game for me. So I'm glad that you kind of mentioned the different times.
And you said something that actually made me remember when you girls were asking me about the features of the app, the SOS program. Oh my God, is that a game changer? Because with Shipt and other shopping gigs, if you had an issue of any kind, you were going to be on hold at least 15, 20, 30 minutes, if not longer. And one of the things I love about SOS is that you can put in an SOS request and you're going to get a response back within 5 minutes, 99.9% of the time. And not only are you going to get a response, but you're going to get the issue resolved right away. I mean, it's like, boom. I mean, if you need additional funding for your card, if you're having an issue with the app and you can't check out, if for some reason the app wanted to crash, and thank God it's only happened like I think twice in the entire time I've been with the company, and it's only been minor. But yeah, if you need SOS help, I cannot stress enough how that was right there was probably one of the major selling features as to why I came to Dumpling, back in January of 2022.
That was a big reason why I left Instacart. My last Instacart order, I waited 45 minutes for them to try to cancel. They still didn't cancel. It took an hour and a half and I couldn't do anything. Everything was frozen. I didn't get paid for that order. That was the worst. So we definitely pride ourselves and we work super hard to make sure that there's always coverage on SOS. And in case we didn't say it, SOS is open from 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. Pacific. That is 8 a.m. to midnight Eastern. So we're actually only closed 8 hours a day and we're open 7 days a week. We only close on Christmas. Christmas Day is the only day that we're actually fully closed down from SOS. And even then, when people write in, we're watching. We are watching. So we do our absolute best to, make sure, we know you guys are probably in line with ice cream that's melting, things that you need to get moving. So we always make sure, try to get you in and out within a couple of minutes.
That's one thing that obviously several of us on this team have done this job in some capacity, right? Sarah and myself, of course. Several people on our support team as well have also been personal shoppers. And so our company would not be able to build those sort of features without personal shopper input, kind of guiding that. And so all of us have unfortunately had those hour hold times or transferred from person to person to person or things not resolved. And we've tried to say, okay, we have a small staff. How can we get everyone help quickly? So our SOS is like, I need help right now. Our other support can take a little bit longer, but it's at least still reviewed same day, is our goal there. And that way we can make sure those people on SOS aren't sitting at checkout. But yeah, I'm glad that you utilize that and kind of know if I need something, just write in. Instead of trying to figure out the headache, something will figure it out for me. That's definitely what we're here for. Another question for you on that, if you've used our university courses, has there been anything in that process or the onboarding process in general that made things easier for you?
I don't know if it made things easier, but one of the things I did love about going through Dumpling University is the fact that I had to go shop a friendly order prior to actually officially working with Dumpling. That opened my eyes tremendously with being able to see how the app worked on the customer side and on my side. And that was probably, that was one of the best learning experiences I had going through the training program. Everything else was great too. I mean, the videos and the step-by-step, how to set up your schedule, how to, create your business profile, how to choose your stores and your zones and things like that was all great. But yeah, and I've heard this from other people who I've mentored with Dumpling that, once they were able to do their friendly order, it clicked. It was like light bulb. So that's probably the one thing that stands out to me with Dumpling University.
I would say that's the biggest thing that we've always taught on is get yourself into that friendly order and just try it out, because otherwise you may have I came from Instacart. I knew the stores inside and out. I know how to shop, but it is a completely different process. And since the clients are yours, they're coming to you. So when they have a question or an issue on the Dumpling app, it's good for you to know how that works so you can easily walk them through it. So it's all just messing around with it, playing with it, and doing that as many times as possible so you feel comfortable is the best way to learn. Is dive in and do it with a friend, a family member, somebody that you're like, okay, if I mess up, who cares, right? And even if you mess up with a client, it's not usually the end of the world. They're usually
it's not. I mean, we've all made mistakes. I've done, over 9,000 orders now, not just with Dumpling, but overall. And I actually made a mistake a couple weeks ago. And my customer, who I've been shopping for 4 years, he called me up and said, "Hey, Chuck, this isn't right." And I said, "Not a problem." Went got it. And the nice thing too is the fact that because I had I'd given the customer the actual receipt, I could take the receipt, the wrong item, back to the store, swap it out for the right one, and be back to their house in 10 minutes, and everyone's happy.
That's so much than them sitting on hold for an hour trying to get a refund and then still not have an item, right?
Right, exactly. I think because they can't. That's one thing with other shopping gigs is that once you made the delivery, you were done. And so if a mistake was made, the customer was, saying it, but they were screwed because they were have to call customer service, be on hold, like you said, 10, 20, 30 minutes to try and get a refund. And then they don't have the actual receipt, so they can't take the item back to the store and swap it for what they actually were supposed to get. So.
And not only that, but they have no way, you have no way of knowing what happened until
Right.
you put a 2, 3.
Yeah, until you see that 1-star rating,
Exactly. And then you're like, wait, what? I remember that's exactly what happened on Instacart is I had left way too many bags in my car. I missed them. They were in insulated bags and I just wasn't with it. And I got a really bad star review and I'm like, what? Why? And then I noticed that they were missing all those items, went out to my car. There they all were the next day. And I'm like, if I had known, if they could have me, I could have turned right around and gotten them right back, but they had no way to let me know. So it wasn't until the next day and everything was spoiled at that point.
Right. You can't do anything about it.
Yep. Perfect. Well, one last question for you. So if there was one tip that you could give kind of a new, business owner, what would that be?
Don't be frustrated in the beginning. And I say that because you're gonna, you're bringing over your existing clientele is going to be easy, but in getting new customers is the hard part. And so don't be afraid to market yourself. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to talk to other people about it. Ask for referrals. You're going to get people that say they're interested and they're not going to sign up. Don't get discouraged. Don't get frustrated. It's going to happen. It's a law of averages. Your customers you do have are going to be loyal to you. They're going to continually shop, order from you for you to shop for them. But don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I mean, Dumpling has you two girls as coaches, plus there's other DBOs who are more than willing to help out with marketing. Like I said, Jennifer Slack is phenomenal. Reach out to her. She's, has helped out a lot of DBOs in the past. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Attend the office hours. You're going to learn more there that may not have been covered in the university. You're going to pick up little tips and little tricks here and there as well.
Yeah. I love that you said that because I think people don't quite realize coming from a gig to your own business, even if you've had your own business before, it's a transition. It's a mindset shift and it can get overwhelming. It can be a little bit scary sometimes. It can be confusing. And so definitely, if anyone does need our help, we are absolutely available to help. And I echo that for, the other business owners as well. I love seeing you guys help each other. It's always just kind of fills my heart to see that you guys are realizing that no longer are we competition fighting for the same order. We're now more kind of colleagues and a community, which is a wonderful part of that transition. So I'm glad you said that. And I just wanted to say, Chuck, we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome.
I think all of your experiences in your business and just kind of the way that you've gone about things will really help other people to hear. So we definitely am grateful that you were able to come and talk to us today. We really love chatting with you. And we really look forward to seeing all these things that are coming down the road for you. You'll have to keep us up to date.
I will definitely do that.
Well, thank you.
Yep. All right. Well, you kids have a great day. Thank you very much for having me.
You as well.